Within the expansive Imperium of Frank Herbert's Dune series, various worlds, each with their own unique characteristics and challenges, contribute to the shaping of the universe's power dynamics. Each environment impacts the populations that inhabit them, fostering distinct cultures and values, leading to a variety of socio-political landscapes that influence the overarching politics of the Imperium. Among these many worlds, 2 planets stand out for their fundamental roles in determining the universe's power structure: the ancient former Corrino Homeworld Salusa Secundus, and the deadly desert jewel of the universe, Dune. Within these harsh confines, 2 formidable forces have risen: the Emperor Sardaukar and the Fremen of Arrakis. In this video, I'd like to examine these 2 warrior societies, the ideological differences between them, and the impact of their epic clash in the war for Arrakis. Spoiler warning if you are unfamiliar with Frank Herbert's Dune. Salusa Secundus, which maintains the guise of the Emperor's prison planet, is characterized by its barren landscape and harsh environmental conditions where complacency means death. Through the crucible of struggle and adversity, the Emperor Sardaukar, an elite force of warriors, are forged. Tempered in the flames of the most unforgiving reality, the Sardaukar have evolved into the fearsome, ruthless extension of the Emperor's determination. Their harsh training, combined with the severe conditions of the planet, pushed them to the limits of human endurance. These warriors possess such prowess that the combined might of all the other noble houses would find it challenging to rival them. At the center of the Imperium, another planet equally devoid of hospitality has birthed yet another cadre of formidable warriors known as the Fremen. Like Salusa Secundus, this arid desert world is also relentless and merciless. Hidden among its endless seas of sand and barren desert landscape, the native Fremen have adapted, surviving and even thriving where others would falter and perish. Like Salusa Secundus, Dune molded its inhabitants into formidable warriors in its own unique way. The relentless desert environment with its colossal sandworms and violent sandstorms necessitated extraordinary survival skills. However, unlike the Sardaukar, the Fremen are not at war with their environment. Instead, they've learned to blend with it, harmonize with it as they have evolved and uniquely adapted to the desert's demands, developing formidable guerrilla tactics. Through an existence defined by the harsh realities of desert life, these resilient people have been honed into a formidable powerhouse, underestimated by the majority of leaders in the Imperium. The interactions between the Sardaukar and the Fremen have reverberating consequences across the universe, with one side serving the Emperor and the other following a Messiah. The clash between these 2 forces fundamentally transforms the power dynamics of the Imperium. Aside from their similarly brutal environments that serve to filter out the weak, religion is a primary driving force behind the zeal and ferocity of each of these factions. The Sardaukar are said to have a warrior religion that evokes a sense of superiority, instilling shared suffering and a secret covenant to ensure their devotion to the Emperor. This religion emphasized the veneration of the spirit of the warrior as they lived and breathed battle. Their path to glory and enlightenment was intrinsically woven through the relentless pursuit of martial perfection and the intoxication of victory. Their entire reason for existence was rooted in war and the endless pursuit of higher combat prowess. The Fremen differ from the Sardaukar in that they are not warriors by vocation, nor is their prime motivation the thrill of battle. Rather, they tirelessly work to see the fulfillment of a prophecy, a journey to paradise under the leadership of their Messiah, the Mahdi. Their warfare was guided by this spiritual purpose, and the stakes were more than just victory or defeat. Their entire existence was focused on the survival of their culture, the preservation of their faith, and the securing of their future. Both the Sardaukar and the Fremen see themselves as chosen by God, valuing a hierarchy of strength, self-sacrifice, and the elimination of the weak to ensure the power of the masses. While the Fremen are united by a strong sense of community, the loyalty of the Sardaukar is fostered by being given access to imperial privileges, feeding their ego and sense of existence as superior beings. However, this method also resulted in a decline in the Sardaukars' strength during the reign of Emperor Shaddam IV. Their religious fervor was hampered by cynicism due to a spike in Bursig-ranked commanders and Shaddam's insecurity, meddling in matters beyond his authority. Decreased funding for Sardaukar training further softened their military discipline and strength. When the story of Dune begins, they were still considered a formidable force, but their arrogance had blinded them to their diminishing might. The Sardaukars' fear-inducing reputation was largely due to their religious zeal, which served House Corrino for millennia. However, as Paul led the Fremen to begin to retake Arrakis, it became apparent that the Sardaukars' reputation was overstated, as their religious fervor had significantly waned. They suffered major losses, and on at least one occasion they were even forced to retreat by a group of Fremen composed merely of old men, women, and children. The divergence in ideologies between these two forces is evident. The Sardaukar were guided by a warrior religion, craving the personal glory and refinement that came with battle. Their single-minded devotion to combat skills made them formidable, but at the same time, it led to a certain rigidity and a loss of adaptability. Their warrior ethos was grounded in personal skill and obedience to the Emperor. Conversely, the Fremen were fighting for a prophecy, for their community, and for their future. They had a clear vision of what they were striving for, the transformation of their homeworld into a paradise. Their fighting prowess was a means to achieve this end, not the end itself. This purpose-driven fight gave them a resolve that the Sardaukar could not match. At the onset of the saga, a clear shift in power was palpable. The once formidable Sardaukar were becoming victims of their own cynicism. Their monotonous pursuit of combat skills and the lack of a higher purpose led to a gradual erosion of their once indomitable spirit. The thrill of battle was being replaced with disillusionment. Meanwhile, under the leadership of Muad'Dib, the Fremen were reaching their zenith. They were not just honing their skills in combat, but also aligning themselves with a cause that transcended individual desires and dreams, a cause that promised them a future. A significant element that amplified the strength of the Fremen was their training in the Weirding Way, a specialized form of combat rooted in the teachings of the Bene Gesserit bestowed upon them by their leader, Muad'Dib. This training endowed them with seemingly superhuman feats of power, agility, and speed. The clash between the Sardaukar and the Fremen was not just a confrontation of physical might, but also of ideologies and motivations. It was a battle between warriors fueled by personal glory and a band of desert people galvanized by a prophetic vision. As the Sardaukars' effectiveness waned due to growing disillusionment, the Fremen's strength surged in their zealous quest for paradise. The outcome of this clash redefined the power structure of the universe, underscoring the profound impact of environment and ideology in shaping not only the strength of warriors, but also the destiny of civilizations. But I'm curious to know what you think of the clash between the Fremen and the Sardaukar. Are there specific elements that you believe significantly enhanced the Fremen's power or undermined the strength of the Sardaukar that stand out to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.